Greetings YouTube, time for another bargain video. This week we have some unusual things. Right now we're going to do the media that I have found this week. I found a copy, an incredibly good condition of the Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition miniatures handbook. I picked it up I paid the kid $0.25 for it. He wanted 10 cents for it. I didn't know if I had a copy of it. I do, so I'll probably give that away. Or mine away, it depends. This is in incredibly good shape. I don't know if the kid ever opened it. He had books. He was a reader, just maybe that wasn't his thing. That's life. We have the Pagan Book of Days, a guide to festivals, traditions, and sacred days of the year. Coyote Blue, which is a book by Christopher Moore. I have another book of his on the table I'll get to in a second. And this is one I would like my wife to read because I thought it was an excellent book. I really enjoyed it. It kind of hit a vibe for me, so I'm going to ask her to read that for me. We have Imagining Atlantis, which is about how Atlantis has played a role in our cultural and history of literature in the Western world. Because I've been fascinated by Atlantis since I was a kid, even though I do not believe Atlantis ever was real. I still think it's a fascinating topic. We have How to Tell If Your Cat is Plotting to Kill You, which has a poster with it. So that was kind of cool. I picked that up for $1. Then we have Bite Me, a love story by Christopher Moore. I can't remember if I read Bite Me. I read one vampire novel he wrote, but I'm not 100% sure if it was this one or not. But Moore is very, very funny. If anyone out there, Island of the Sequin Love God is wonderful. I don't read fiction anymore, but he is funny. And then we have The Basics of Pistol Shooting. My wife has actually shown an interest in this topic, so I picked it up at a yard sale. Now we have DVDs. We have Bruce Willis and Richard Gere in The Jackal, which I actually didn't mind. I thought it was okay. I haven't seen it since it was originally released, so I picked it up. James and the Giant Peach, which we don't have in our collection, which was a favorite book of my childhood, and I don't know if I've ever actually seen the movie. Madagascar 2, Escape Africa. I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing of this. I think part of it. But I enjoyed the first one, so there you go. A three-pack fun Young Justice, 12 episodes on 3 discs. I've seen a lot of people talk about Young Justice. There's a lot of people online that do cosplay based on this show, and I've never seen it, so I picked that up for like $1. Then we have Stuart Little, the deluxe edition. Believe it or not, a movie I've never seen, but I've always wanted to. Then we have my major DVD score of today. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a movie I had planned on actually going on to the Amazon secondary market and buying myself a copy of and paying shipping for, and I paid 50 cents for it. So there you go. Batman and Robin, which is the original 1940s black and white serial shown at theaters. The entire serial. 1949. Then we have Spies Like Us, which is, I thought it was entertaining when I saw it. I'll watch it again. The Karate Kid special edition. I actually enjoyed this movie, and I would like to listen to the commentary track. And for $2, I thought it was a good deal. The Blair Witch Project, the Platinum Edition, a movie I have absolutely no interest in, but my wife enjoyed it. 101 Dalmatians, which is a film I haven't seen in years, and I'm looking forward to seeing again. Terry Gilliam's Tideland, a film I've never seen, though it's going to be a rough viewing because it deals with drug use and a topic that my wife is not really comfortable with, and I can understand that. But I've never seen it, so I picked it up for next to nothing. Ed Wood, my wife is a major Johnny Depp fan, and I'll watch this with her. It's the special edition. And we have Best in Show. I will not watch this movie with my wife. This type of painful humor just hits a spot in my brain that I despise. It just makes me cringe. But she likes this kind of thing, and she thought this was very, very funny, and now she has a copy of her own. All right, off to the section where things got a little more unusual. And here we are to the section that's going to be a little more unusual, though the finish is not yet reached us. So there's going to be a big finish today. First off, we have some bird feed, which I picked. These are seasonal things. I'm just going to put them out on my porch for the birds. I actually have a cage. I'll probably stick those. I have a cage for suet. Probably stick those in the suet cage. And this one I'm just going to hang off something because it's just have at it, birds. I don't care. And then I get those for like $0.25 a piece. We have some clips, which are the best chip bag clips you're ever going to find. Also useful for bags of vegetables in your freezer. But also when you're doing small projects for gluing, these are awesome, and I paid 50 cents for the entire bag of those. And speaking of clips, this is 2 wooden clips, and these are designed to be used to hold quilts, because they hold the quilt without harming the fabric. So there you go. We were given a small quilt for our wedding 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, and we've never had proper clips to hold it with. It's currently, sitting in storage, safe away from bugs and stuff with mothballs. But I want to be able to hang it up, and now I have a set of clips to do so. And speaking of more clips, picked up these 4 clips for binding together cords and things for $1. So that'll be helpful. I've got some extension cords and things in my closet. Probably use a small one on my paracord. Then we have a mouse, which is, I think this is almost exactly the same model as the one I currently have. I like the trackball mouse, and for $2 I got a backup, because the ones online are considerably more expensive than $2. We have 2 small files, one which is a rat tail file that's kind of stuck in a piece of dowel, but this one has, it's a triangular file. It's got a nice handle, it's got a nice feel to it. Got a nice overall patina to it. I liked it, and I paid $1 for both of those. The guy who I bought these from, he had a table saw and a drill press, both of which I wanted desperately. But not only did I have enough not that kind of money on me, but I had the wrong vehicle. My wife owns a RAV4. I drive a Honda Accord. I would have loved to own them, so that would have been awesome. Then we have hats. I have a penguin hat and a Cookie Monster hat, which will make appearances in some video at some point in the future. Then we have a dragon, and this dragon, I think this is from the Schleich line. If I'm wrong, can someone tell me if I'm wrong on that one? Because they don't put labels and stuff on them. But he's in pretty decent condition. He was in a box, so his wings kind of funky. I think I may just bend those back and use one of the clips to hold it, see if I can get the wings to open up a little bit. But anyway, it gives it kind of an interesting dynamic look, like he's protecting himself. And this would be absolutely perfect for 25 millimeters. This is a dragon that is going to scare players out of their gourds. A 2-headed dragon coming at him. That's just going to be awesome. And it's in nice shape. I'll do a video on that at some point in the future. We have Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, which I picked up for $0.25. I figure I can use it for a costume or something, or if somebody needs kid's doing a costume and needs a hammer, I will. There's some Norse runes on top, or kind of Norse runes on top. I didn't know that. Didn't notice that. There you go. And then we have something for my wife, which is a bell, which says, what's it? Chantal Fonder. It's Swiss. I am murdering that, and I apologize. It was made in 1878. Nice tone, and it has the original clapper, it looks like. Oh, and I forgot the lights. I apologize. I got these 4 lights here. I don't know how I did that. These are safety lights. Alright, and this one was designed to actually be stuck into the top of a safety cone. So you stick it there if you're not using it as a warning. This one has 2 lights. It has a main light, which you can do solid or strobe, and it's kind of weird because there's a delay between the screen and the real light. And this one is just a conventional LED light, so you can see where you're going on the ground. And then we have 3 strobe lights. These are all by the Leland Company, Emergency Strobes. 2 of these have these clips. The yellow one there didn't. He gave it for me. He gave that to me for nothing. They all work. And you turn them on. Now, I think I love the sound. Hope you can hear that. It's a cool sound. But I got that. I'm probably going to throw one in my car as an emergency light, and throw one in my wife's car as an emergency light. But also, she does kayaking occasionally, and while a little bit heavy, if you're just doing car kayaking, and she does do this at night occasionally, this would be an awesome thing to attach to your kayak, because people are going to see this, man. And they last a pretty good long time. It says here, replace battery annually with an alkaline D-cell. So there you go. Though I wonder if a lithium would work in that. I will have to look into that, because a lithium would have a longer shelf life. I just put some lithiums in the flashlight I carry every day because they last 20 years for on the shelf, because I want to make sure I use it. It functions when I need it. I'll have to check into that to see if it matters. And now for the big finish. Ta-da! I am now the proud owner of my very own chop saw. This is a Craftsman model. It says Craftsman right there, Sears Craftsman. 9-inch blades. And the guy that sold it to me said he was selling it because you can no longer get 9-inch blades. It took me 5 seconds on Google to find 9-inch blades for sale from at least 4 different manufacturers, ranging in prices from $12 to $28. So I think he's nuts. I'm going to actually check at Sears to see if they might carry them right here in my city, which would be nice so they wouldn't have to get shipping. Because this one is in kind of rough shape. I need to also look up online to get the model number so I can get a manual and stuff for it. This is not in perfect shape. There's a clamp here to hold this lock in place, which is fine. I can probably do a better job of fixing that myself. There's a trigger. You would turn it. Yeah. There's a trigger down here. Move it, let go of the trigger, tighten it back up again. And there's a small knob that was here to hold this in place because it actually does come loose. You need it to move so that when you're doing this, the guard is staying out of the way, but you want it to stay kind of flush so that when it's coming in, it's going. No, sorry, it takes 2 hands. Kind of does that. You want it to kind of stay on the inside of that guard. So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of knob of some variety on that myself. I don't know what I'll do yet. It's got 2 flats there, so I could maybe just use a simple clip. That might work. Just a simple clip, or come up with a small clamping device if I can't find one for sale. I would invent something there. It'll work. But it's a small unit. Doesn't have a long cord. You use your extension cord of your own for that. It's light. I can pick this up with one hand. This needs to be replaced, obviously. I don't know why the heck the guy used particle board. It's a horrible substance. And why he used these kinds of screws. It just looks like it was just begging to harm the item that you're going to be using. So I'm going to take that apart, replace this board, put better screws in there. But that's wicked cheap. I mean, that's not an expensive fix at all. And obviously, he was making some fairly standard cuts on this. There wasn't a whole lot of, 45, 22s, 22 and a quarter, things like that. So he was doing some pretty standard cuts, which is probably what I'll be doing. But being able to set this up and bolting it down to something and being able to make repeated fast cuts for small items like 2x4s or even things up to 2x4. I mean, you might even get 9-inch blade. Yeah, I think you can probably make it a 4x4 through there if I'm lucky, or get it through enough I could just turn it a quarter of the way over, turn it 1/4, and then cut the rest of the way through. It's something that is just really, really awesome. Now, the most awesome thing about this particular chop saw that you are looking at is that I paid $5 for it. Yep, $5 got me my own chop saw. So this is going to go live in the garage because I would be using it outside. Set up table sawhorses I have an old door I use as a work surface, and I'll probably drill some holes in the old door so I can bolt this to the door, and then put some bolts in the door itself so I can bolt it to the sawhorses. So when I want to use this, the whole assembly will become one solid unit, and I won't have to worry about it moving around. I'll just probably use straight machine bolts with wing nuts on the bottom, so I can just tighten it up, taking it back off again. So make a very quick setup for this that will allow me to use it safely. And it will probably, when I put the board in, I'll probably make the next board a little bit longer, give me a little bit more stability there. That'd be nice. I don't want to make it too long. I have seen people who have built fixtures to attach to these things that give it a portable fixed surface. Norm Abram did one of those once for on-the-job chop sawing. Obviously, he was using a much bigger and more expensive unit than this. But that's an interesting idea, but I don't think I'm going to need to do that. I think just drilling the holes in what I have and putting some bolts and stuff will probably cut it for me because I'm not going to be doing that much chop sawing. But it's mine, and it was $5, and I am just so happy.